Hi. Only 25% of the UK's retail sector is actually using big data right now to drive their daily decision making. Keeping that in mind, we analyzed the big data set of Superstore Excel, and how we approached the project was to really look at the numbers with the perspective that they have a story to tell. We then correlated these numbers and metrics with different functional departments, basically HR, operations, and marketing. And the next slide. And what we really believe in is that these numbers have a story to tell, and by analyzing this data and really putting it across the different functional departments, we can increase the operational excellence of Superstore as a company. So Brad is going to talk more about HR and how big data is going to help HR for Superstore. Brad.
Thanks, Himanshu. So what we did is we created a tool for human resources that would help them measure the performance of each of their managers. With the tool, we have two assumptions built in. One is that each of the managers work the same amount of hours and that the products have the same profit margin across the regions. From that, you can see that Chris appears to be the overall highest performer in sales, and Sam appears to be the lowest performer. And in the product category, Sam seems to be doing the best with furniture, William seems to be doing the best with office supplies, and Chris seems to be doing the best with technology. But we can't exactly call it right there. There might be some possible explanations for these differences between Sam and Chris. One, there could be a different demand in the central US than there is in the south. And two, Chris may have a larger sales force than Sam does, and thereby be able to increase sales or have better sales than Sam does. What we recommend is that HR set targets for each of the managers in the different regions, and if one of the managers is not performing or it looks like they're not going to meet their target, then they should provide a training program to help bring them up to speed so that they hit their target. And third, they can use this tool at the end for an appraisal when it comes to assigning bonuses. So they could use it to give the highest performer a bonus, and then a bonus to each person who's the highest in each product category. And to tell us more about operations, we have Keith.
Thanks, Brad.
You're welcome.
So we hope this data can help us reduce our operating costs by optimizing our inventory. So to do that, let's look at these products. Let's look at this next graph, please. So we can see sales, and it's broken down by product category and it's over time. The obvious trend is that as we near the end of the year, we see much more sales. But watch what happens when we drill down into the product category. So first, furniture. So for furniture, actually, there's not really a clear trend when you look at it in annual data. We had 2012, it's a bit of an outlier, but for the other ones, there's not much of a trend. But what happens when we look at office supplies? With office supplies, this is more like it. We have clear trends. By the end of the year, we have spiking data. In this case, a massive outlier. What about technology? So in technology too, clearly October, November, December, these are big months for sales for these products. Now, what's the reason for this? There's more than one possible explanation. One thing is Christmas. At Christmas time, people buy a lot of things. They go on holiday shopping sprees. So to the extent that our clientele is composed of consumers, that's a possible explanation. It also could be that we're looking at business customers, and they would be doing a lot of their annual purchasing at the end of the calendar year. And as a result, we would see these bunches of purchases in those latter months. And that also helps explain why there's not so much of a trend in furniture, because offices don't have to buy as much furniture. And finally, it could be that businesses are anticipating that a lot of their employees are going to take their annual leave. And so as a result, they try to get a lot done near the end of the year. So they bunch up their activity, which also means bunching up their purchases. So as managers, this has implications for us. For one thing, it just tells us that we need to make sure to avoid shortfalls when we need a lot of inventory, that's at the end of the year, and to avoid costs of having excess inventory on hand in the warmer months. And now, here's Ruturaj.
Okay, so I'm going to talk about marketing. Why do we need to analyze data in marketing? So we are doing this with the sole purpose of devising an effective positioning strategy. How are we going to do that? we'll be analyzing the effect of discount on sales across all the product categories. Let's have a look over the effect of discount on sales of the office supplies. If you see, like as the discount increases, we are seeing that there is a weak correlation between the sales of office supplies and the discount. There are some of the outliers. There might be possible reasons wherein there might be budget timings of the offices, or probably there might be like the end of the year. Usually people tend to buy before the budget year ends. For the furniture thing, if you see, as the discount is increasing, even the sales of the furniture is not increasing much. Even here you see there are some of the outliers, but that we don't see a surprising trend over here. Let's go over the technology thing, and even here as well, the effect of discount and sales is not that much. There are some of the outliers, but that might be a reason because of new launches of the products. Now, let's see what could be the possible explanations. For office supplies, they are not that expensive, so probably the discount might not be affecting sales as such. For furniture and technology, people usually expect a good amount of product mix, or they might be focusing more on the functional value, which Superstore won't be providing. And we analyzed the mean discount that we have offered over a year, and we saw that we are offering just around 5 to 6% of discount across the year. This kind of discount might not be affecting sales as such. So what recommendations we have is, we position ourselves as differentiator. We won't be focusing more on the price, or positioning ourselves as a cost leadership, and we will be planning to focus more on social, functional, and experiential value of the Superstore. And the function, by this I mean that we'll be providing more value through the products that we provide in terms of function, and we won't be focusing more on the economic value as well. Now let's go over to Himanshu, who would be giving the final managerial recommendations.
All right, to conclude, what we feel is important from an HR perspective is to understand the performance of different managers across different segments, different regions, and to have a solution-oriented mindset within the company. In terms of operations, we feel knowing the different months when we have peak sales, we can optimize our inventory and do the appropriate production planning. And lastly, for marketing, we feel that knowing that discounts do not correlate with prices, we can have an appropriate pricing strategy and really understand the value that we have to offer in terms of our customers. Thank you so much. How was it?